Gabriel Magalhaes and Tierney. 4 across the middle are Saka, Partey, Xhaka and Gabriel. Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The 8 p.m. kickoff at the Emirates has just got underway. It's Arsenal taking on West Ham United, and it's a top-of-the-table clash, or certainly a top-6 clash here, as Arsenal in 6th place, currently 2 points behind West Ham United. If West Ham were to get a win this evening, they just get that little bit closer to Chelsea in 3rd. Gunners will be, of course, trying to get ahead of their rivals this evening, and the game has just got underway. It's a difficult one to call, really. West Ham and Arsenal, a little bit checkered form in the last few games. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Sam Wright taking you through the action. Sam, do we give the home side just that edge because they are at home, Arsenal?
Yeah, and West Ham's record at the Emirates is really poor. They were actually first team to win at the Emirates back in April 2007, but only won one since, and that was on the opening day of the 2015-16 season. West Ham have only won 2 of the last 28 games against Arsenal, and David Moyes has never beaten Mikel Arteta either. Of course, Arteta played under Moyes in his Everton days, so I'd just about give Arsenal the home advantage, but West Ham are a very good team, of course, much improved from when they last visited the Emirates and what was their first away game of last season.
Certainly was, and Arsenal just trying to play out from the back now. The ball in midfield here with Odegaard going back towards Tomiyasu, straight away pressing here from West Ham. Masuaku trying to stop the move down Arsenal's right. So the 2 11s for this evening. No changes for Arsenal from the side that beat Southampton. It's Aaron Ramsdale in goal with the back 4 of Tahiro Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes and Kieran Tierney. Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka are the 2 holder midfielders with Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard and Gabriel Martinelli. As the 3 ahead of them, Alexandre Lacazette leads the line for West Ham United. Just the one change from the game last time out. Lukasz Fabianski is in goal with back 4 of Vladimir Tufal, Craig Dawson, Issa Diop and Artur Masuaku. The 2 holder midfielders, Thomas Souček and Declan Rice. 3 ahead of them, Jared Bowen, Manuel Lanzini and Pablo Fornals. The only change, he comes in for Said Benrahma, and Mikhail Antonio is the front man. Fabianski just rushed into a bit of a clearance there, being closed down by Lacazette. Arsenal have restarted quickly here with Tierney charging towards the edge of the area. Ball just flicked away by Tufal, and now it's played up towards Antonio. Heavy touch from Antonio, though, as Fornals played him that ball. And that's the kind of thing that West Ham have to be careful of. If they do get a chance to break out, that kind of touch from Antonio, he's got to try and hold on to it there.
Yeah, that's what Antonio's in the team for. Not going for his best run of form right now, Antonio. He only scored once against Arsenal, and that was in the 2-1 defeat here last season. But Antonio is a good striker, of course. He's really good at holding the ball up and bringing other West Ham players into play. So, but yeah, it's got to do better than that. Just a moment ago, Lacazette closing down Fabianski. Really good play from the Arsenal forward, rushing the pole into a clearance.
Absolutely. Fabianski can be a little bit erratic sometimes, so closing him down can sometimes pay dividends. Arsenal with a positive start in the first 2.5 minutes, pretty much keeping all of the possession so far, and it's back now with Ramsdale, just goes short to Ben White. There are 2 other games being played this evening. It's currently goalless between Brighton and Wolves. That's 33 minutes in, as is the game between Palace and Southampton, which is actually 1-1 now. Palace did take the lead early on through Wilfred Zaha, but now James Ward-Prowse with the equaliser there for the Saints. And those other games are available on our service as well. But Arsenal now in possession here with Xhaka, playing a ball forward now towards Martinelli. Just having to cut back towards Tomiyasu. And space down the right-hand side here now for Odegaard, just getting away from Lanzini, trying to switch the play, looking for Tierney. Probably a little bit too optimistic there, Odegaard, with that ball. And then Bowen again, a bit of a waste of possession there, trying to play that ball into space for Tufal. That one is easily claimed by Xhaka. And now ball back here with Gabriel Magalhaes, plays it forward to Martinelli, just caught in possession. First chance for West Ham to have a bit of possession in the Arsenal half.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what West Ham need at this point, really. I mean, obviously only 3.5 minutes played, nearly 4, but West Ham not really got a foothold of the ball yet. They need to do that, really calm down the Emirates crowd as well. I think that's important. Obviously the home teams usually do start on top due to the crowd, but I think a spell of possession for West Ham will certainly do them good.
Absolutely, and you can be sure that away end is full to the brim. Not a long journey for the Hammers faithful this evening, as Masuaku now down the left-hand side, being pressed here by Saka. He goes back towards Diop. Square now to Craig Dawson, but Arsenal trying to press as high as they can here, trying to force an error here from West Ham as Tufal plays the ball forward, looking for Bowen. That's off Gabriel Magalhaes. Quick throw now taken down the right-hand side. Antonio trying to keep play. Well, that's good play in the end from Ben White. Just bumps into Antonio and then gets the deflection off him as well.
Yeah, good play from Ben White. I mean, obviously, you know, when Arsenal signed 50 million, that was very much questioned, that transfer. But I think, bar a very shaky debut against Brentford, I think he's done really well for Arsenal so far, Ben White. And he's really has tightened up that defence. I think we are seeing improvements. They still have frailties, the Arsenal defence, no doubt about that, but I certainly think it's improving this season, and Arteta's starting to learn what his best back four is.
Absolutely, I think that it's been a test for Arteta, of course, an Arsenal legend, a very popular Arsenal player. Certainly cut his teeth with being Guardiola's assistant, but it was a big jump to take the Arsenal job, and it's not been helped by some dressing room issues, of course. Currently, the issues with Aubameyang. A lot was said over the last 48 hours about the captaincy being stripped off him, but I think in the end Arteta had no choice. If he keeps breaking rules that are set there to try and protect him and other players, then as an example to the rest of the squad, he had to have the captaincy taken off him.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously Aubameyang was given the captaincy after it was taken off Xhaka in very bad circumstances as well. Obviously, we all remember the incident against Crystal Palace a couple of years ago when he was booed off the pitch and threw the armband. But yeah, I mean, Aubameyang, of course, is an experienced player. He shouldn't really be having disciplinaries like that. So I think Arteta certainly made the right decision. Of course, Lacazette has taken the armband for this evening.
He has. He was the captain on Saturday as well and played very well in that to win against Southampton, scoring a great goal. But the last couple of minutes, just been a bit more possession now for West Ham. Not really been able to get anywhere near the Arsenal penalty area so far, but at least they do have the ball in midfield here with Lanzini, and as soon as that ball goes out towards Masuaku on the left-hand side, he was being closed down by Bukayo Saka. But here comes Lanzini down the left-hand side. He skips away from Saka, then runs into Thomas Partey, and that is going to be a free kick. Partey's claiming that there shouldn't be any kind of decision there at all, but Anthony Taylor seems pretty convinced. We'll see from this replay, Sam. Well, he gets a bit of the ball, but I think he gets the man first. I
think it's a harsh decision, really. I think Partey has every right to feel disappointed there, but like you say, he does maybe catch a little bit of Lanzini, but I think that's quite a soft one in my opinion from West Ham's point of view, but a chance for them to maybe put a free kick into the danger zone.
Yeah, good chances for West Ham. It's all changed at Selhurst Park. Southampton have gone from a goal down to 2-1 up, and it's Armando Broja with the goal there for Southampton just 4 minutes after Ward-Prowse had equalised. Now this free kick to West Ham over on the left-hand side. Arsenal trying to keep an offside line just at the edge of the area. West Ham trying to dawdle with the free kick to perhaps put that offside line off, but in the end it's a short ball here from Fornals back to Tufal, then Masuaku back to Fornals, and now Declan Rice goes on the overlap. He's got a bit of space, puts that ball into the penalty area. It's cleared to the edge. Lanzini sets it up for Dawson, and Dawson slices that one a long way wide. I think in an ideal world Dawson would have been teeing that one up for Lanzini, not the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you never really felt comfortable when the ball was played. West Ham originally make a hash of the free kick, but they work it quite well afterwards. Declan Rice just about staying onside. Arsenal clear their lines, but not very convincingly, and like you say, I think Lanzini playing to Dawson. West Ham probably would have liked that to be the other way around, really, because the centre-half never looked comfortable shooting from that distance.
No, absolutely not. And Arsenal looking to try and take a short goal kick. Just a couple of West Ham players still close by. And now the referee is having some problems here. What was that? I'm not sure what that was. I think it's either something that's fallen out from the referee's equipment or potentially something that he found dropped on the pitch there. But now it looks like Ramsdale should be able to restart play. 8 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. It is goalless between Arsenal and West Ham. Looks like it might be a piece of jewellery from one of the Arsenal players there that Steve Ram was just putting into his pocket. But yeah, just a slight delay. Ball is now back in play. Odegaard leaves this ball now for Xhaka. Xhaka tries to get it through to Lacazette, who's trying to shield that ball away from Declan Rice. It took the referee a couple of seconds. I did think there was a bit of a push there on Lacazette, but Declan Rice, the two captains in discussion there. Rice perhaps just trying to say that he didn't think there was too much in that, but there's a knee into the back of Lacazette there.
Yeah, again, a little bit soft. I think Lacazette's kind of bought the contact a little bit, but yeah, I say there was enough for him to probably go down and to be a free kick. Declan Rice obviously is having a very good season at West Ham, so important to the way they play, but this is a good chance for Arsenal to maybe test Fabianski.
Yes, just a little bit further out than the free kick that West Ham had, and it's slightly more central as well, which does make it that bit more difficult to try and get an angle to surprise the goalkeeper. But so far, there's 3 Arsenal players standing over it. Odegaard looks like he wants to be the one to make the call. Fabianski's furiously trying to get his Wolves' attention there. As Tomasz Souček there finally hears the Polish keeper. Looks like he's been told just to move a little bit more over to the centre. Odegaard's now stepped away, and it's going to be the left foot of Xhaka to try and strike this one. It's certainly within range. It's whether or not he can get the movement and the angle on the shot here to try and test the goalkeeper. Yeah,
we know Xhaka can hit them from here. I certainly remember a goal of his last season on Boxing Day against Chelsea. He can certainly hit these free kicks, so this does spell danger, but it's very hard to get on top. Well, get it up and down from this far out, really, but here he goes.
Xhaka steps forward, strikes the wall, which did jump, timed that one pretty well. It might have just struck either Souček or Antonio, who were in the middle of that wall, and it deflects out for a throw to Arsenal down the left-hand side. Kieran Tierney is across to take this one. He's got no options for the short throw right now. Somebody needs to get a little bit closer to him, which Martinelli is now trying to do. Lacazette's gone wide as well, and that's where the ball has gone. Lacazette trying to turn away from Dawson. Back heels that into Tierney, who plays that into space. And there's, the referee's pointing for I think he initially considered giving a corner, but I think he's decided it's going to be a foul for the contact. The Arsenal players are furious here. I mean, it's certainly the reaction of Tierney was like he was really struck flush in the face there by Tufal. What do we think of that one?
I think I need to see a replay, really, but yeah, there's actually a yellow card come out as well for Tufal, so it must have been quite bad, really. I mean, looked like he might have left a bit on him. It's a silly free kick to give away with the position he's in. Good play from Lacazette originally. And Tierney tries to go beyond Tufal, and we'll have a better look here. I think he's made the most of it, Tierney. But he has been caught a bit, but he's definitely made more of it than he probably should have.
It's more like, I mean, if I can compare it to rugby, it's almost like a handoff in rugby rather than a full smack to the face like perhaps Tierney was suggesting. And I think Tufal probably feels as though he's been a little bit harshly done by. He probably feels it wasn't even a free kick, let alone a yellow card. But Arsenal now with a good opportunity here. The referee's just trying to calm down Gabriel Magalhaes here. I think he was probably just a little bit too aggressive with his protest there, so the referee calling him across along with Captain Lacazette just to try and diffuse the situation. But Arsenal have this free kick. It's a yard away from the edge of the area over on the left-hand side. It's a little bit too close to the line, I think, to try and think about a shot. They might try and sneak it in at the near post, but certainly Odegaard and Martinelli.
I think this might favour Odegaard, really. Playing a bit of an out, it's going to be Odegaard to take it, really. Let's see Lacazette perched right on the edge of the area as well. They could have something in mind here, Arsenal. Got
a few options. Lacazette, interesting enough, isn't even in the box, and there may still be a ball played towards the edge. Now he gets into the penalty area. The ball's aimed at the edge of the 6-yard box. Tomiyasu was the intended target. Doesn't quite get his head to it, though. It's cleared back towards the halfway line. Pumped back into the box here by Tierney. And Martinelli chases that one all the way to the line. And the referee decides that there was just a bit too much contact there from Martinelli on Bowen. And now a free kick to West Ham.
I think that looks a bit harsh, really. I think Martinelli's got every right to go for that. We'll have a look again. Or maybe a bit of a nudge, actually. Yeah, I do think Bowen probably is enough in that to go down. But that's why Martinelli's great to have in this Arsenal team. His work rate's fantastic. And I think that you see there, a lot of players would have given up on that ball, but he carries on going all the way to the byline.
He does. A bit of a respite now for Fabianski. Able to clear his lines up towards the halfway line, over the halfway line, in fact, as Antonio bumps into Thomas Partey. No free kick given, and now West Ham are expecting a free kick at the edge of the area for the challenge on Fornals. He's gone down holding his face. Referee on this occasion, Anthony Taylor, is not interested. And Arsenal perhaps just waiting to see whether or not the West Ham man was going to stay down on his feet, but they carry on now. That's good control from Lacazette as well on the halfway line. Just gets away from Lanzini, then finds Odegaard, who's got Saka on his right-hand side. Saka now trying to break into the penalty, but 3 West Ham players come across to stop him. He lays it off to Tomiyasu, who's ball into the box, misses Martinelli, but Bowen just behind gets his body in the way, knocks it out for a corner.
Yeah, speaking about work rate of Martinelli, Bowen as well in this West Ham team, very much known for doing his work rate. Back in a good position there. The ball more hits him more than anything, but Arsenal haven't really made the most of their set pieces yet, so this is another chance for them to get a ball into the box.
Opportunity here for Arsenal. 4 players inside the 6-yard box. Martinelli does whip it into that 6-yard box, but there's Declan Rice, heads that one away back into midfield. Odegaard now back to Tierney, who traditionally stays behind for Arsenal for their set pieces, and then Tierney's ball, sadly, he's got a much better left foot than that, just sends it diagonally across the box and out for a West Ham throw.
Yeah, poor from Tierney, not really sure what he was aiming for then. It's usually so reliable from crosses from that end, but got that one horribly wrong, and it just goes out for a West Ham throw, and allows West Ham to regroup a little bit.
It does. We've had nearly 14 minutes on the clock. It's gone fairly quickly, I'd say. Decent pace to the game. Not too many, not much really by way of clear-cut chances, but certainly the home side will feel as though they've made more of an impression so far. But David Moyes just trying to get some instructions out to his players as well. As we mentioned, both sides in checkered form, really. Arsenal with 2 wins out of their last 5. West Ham with 1 win out of their last 5, although that does include a defeat to Dinamo Zagreb, where they pretty much purposely named a second or even a third string team just to give a few players a bit of a run out. So back here at the Emirates, the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw to West Ham down the left-hand side. Suaka with the ball, but mentioned that West Ham's last few games, the last Arsenal game, I did actually commentary of the game against Southampton, and they never really looked troubled from start to finish. Southampton were poor, but you have to say that Arsenal really did control the game very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was one of Arsenal's more complete performances this season, really. They never looked in trouble from the beginning. It was just a really, really comfortable win, and look at Southampton right now winning away at Crystal Palace, very tough place to go. They've had the struggles this season, Southampton, but Arsenal made it look easy, and I think it's full credit to them. They looked back to their best, really, but their home form has been really good this season. I think that's a big reason why they are in the top 6 at the moment.
Absolutely, and there's still a little bit missing, I'd say, from their complete game, but of course they have had a few injuries. There's still a couple of dressing room issues, I think, for Arteta to try and iron out, but looking good in this game so far. So the ball now in midfield here, played back towards Gabriel Magalhaes, now square to Ben White. Tomiyasu immediately under pressure there from Lanzini, but he finds Odegaard, and then Saka's ball back in towards Thomas Partey. Saka was taken out as he was making that pass, and the referee decided that should be a free kick. Although it has been played at quite a quick pace this game, it has been a little bit stop-start with all the free kicks.
Absolutely been a lot of free kicks so far. I think that one was the right decision, though. Masuaku just going a little bit in there on Saka. But yeah, there's been a lot of free kicks in there in 15 and a half minutes. A lot given away by West Ham as well. But like I said, Arsenal not really made the most of their set-piece situations, in my opinion. I think West Ham have always got it away quite comfortably. So that's something as the game goes on, Arsenal will look to improve. But again, West Ham certainly do have a height advantage at the same time. So always difficult in them circumstances.
Certainly is. It's difficult right now for West Ham to get a hold of the ball, as well as Xhaka plays the ball out towards Tierney. Just a bit too much on that one for Kieran Tierney. Couldn't quite control it. Goes out of play for a throw. Two foul now waiting to a restart play for West Ham, going all the way back towards Dawson, who's been closed down by Lacazette. He plays the ball back into Fabianski. Now a chance here for Issa Diop. Got a bit of open field in front of him to get forward. Finds Lanzini back to Rice. West Ham now trying to build a bit of possession. Great ball there from Rice out towards the right-hand side for two foul. So no options to go forward. So he goes to his fellow compatriot Thomas Souček. And now Diop can start again on the halfway line here for the Hammers, who are in their change at navy strip this evening. Arsenal, as always, in their red and white at home. And Lanzini now into Souček. Again, West Ham seeing quite a few passes consecutively here, but not really able to get forward. Now they've got a bit of space down the right. There's a two foul inside to Souček. Bowen's gone a little bit further forward. They can't quite get the ball through to him. Now they're trying to get Bowen involved, but they've been forced to just track back a little bit here, West Ham. Souček now with the ball over the top. Diving header there from Martinelli, and he felt as though there might have been a raised boot there as well. Maybe a little bit of something intended there for two foulers ready on a yellow card as well. Yeah,
you can nothing in that, really. I think Martinelli's kind of made the most of it, but I don't think there's many appeals from other Arsenal players. But West Ham, like you say, just getting a better spell of possession, really, at the moment. I feel like their spell of possession is what they need. They haven't really had much of the ball so far, so I think that's what they need, really, and they have a corner here as well.
They do, yes. Just sometimes the long throw can put a bit of pressure on the defence. It was just a long ball launched towards the line, and if Tierney had a bit more time and maybe just a little bit more awareness, he may have actually even left that ball, but it was there was still a couple of West Ham players around him, so he takes the safety option, knocks it out, and it's going to be a corner kick to West Ham from the right-hand side. So you would imagine it's going to be left-footed Jarron Bowen to try and whip this one in. Big men are up for West Ham, including Diop and Dawson. They're pushing and shoving inside that 6-yard box as well. But here comes Bowen's cross. It really is whipped in towards goal. The goalkeeper certainly couldn't claim it first time round. It is booted out by Ben White, I think, in the end. And this is going to go out for a throw to West Ham down the left-hand side. But Aaron Ramsdale certainly got a bit of treatment there inside his own 6-yard box. West Ham have restarted with a throw down the left-hand side as Lanzini and Xhaka just colliding. Then I think the ball has gone out for a throw to West Ham, but it looks like there might be a little bit of angst here on the touchline that the referee has to deal with here on the bench.
Mikel Arteta came out quite quick. I don't know if you noticed. Obviously, when the ball was near there, he did rush out after it went out for a throw-in, so maybe them just saying, just to calm down a little bit. Obviously, we saw Arteta and Jurgen Klopp recently have a bit of a touchline spat as well, but about the corner, though, I think Ramsdale made a bit of a meal of it. He was been put under pressure, though, by Antonio, and if the big presence of Antonio might have put him off, but yeah, no foul was given, so interesting if that ball had ended up in the back of the net, what they would have done.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that incident between Klopp and Arteta. I do think that Arteta did that partly for his own players to show that he was sort of with them, because the particular challenge that got him so riled up wasn't actually as bad as his reaction, I think, as his reaction was. But I think it was one of those where he was just trying to show a little bit of passion so that his players could see that although it was a difficult situation out there on the pitch, he was sort of in unison with them, and that's never a bad thing as long as the manager can pick his moment to do that. As West Ham just getting a little bit boxed in inside their own half. If Fabianski in the end forced to just sweep a ball away out for a throw, although he does get a bit of distance on it at least, so it's out for a throw to Arsenal down the right hand side, but it is almost level with the halfway line. It's a half-time at the Amex. Brighton 0, Wolves 1. Remains Saiss in injury time at the end of the first half there, giving Wolves the lead. It's also half-time at Selhurst Park, where Palace still trail Southampton by 2-1. But here come West Ham trying to get away from their own penalty area. Not finding it easy, though. Plenty of Arsenal players pressing. Now Souček with it turns out not just like a good clearance, but a great ball here to find Tufal. He perhaps just dawdled on it. He had time to get rid of it. Martinelli now able to dispossess him. And here comes Thomas Partey running straight into Michail Antonio. And Antonio actually fouls Thomas Partey, but he's got a blow to the face in the process somehow.
Again, yeah, a bit stop-start the game at the moment. I think Partey was trying to go away there. Antonio pulls him back. I don't know if there's a bit of a reaction from Partey, maybe. We'll have a better look here. He has left a bit in on him, but again, I think Antonio's made the most of it, really, rolling around there. But, yeah, cynical foul really by Antonio. Partey is going forward. He might well release a pass that sets an Arsenal player away. Bit of a collision there, though, and yeah, obviously play stops again, but I'm sure Antonio will be all right. Yeah,
well, I mean, looking at that second replay, he does get an elbow to the face. It's not intentional from Thomas Partey. It's Antonio that causes the collision. But certainly, if you're going to get an elbow from Thomas Partey in your face, even if you're as stocky as Michail Antonio, you're going to know about it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's the one, yeah. I think obviously maybe the follow-through. I mean, at first I thought maybe a reaction from the Ghanaian international, but looking at it, though, I do think it was completely accidental. And, yeah, like you say, Antonio looked like he certainly felt the effects of it.
Yes, he certainly did. Looking at the passing accuracy, pretty good from both sides. Arsenal on 82%, West Ham on 85%. That said, of course, Arsenal have completed a lot more passes or attempted a lot more passes as they've seen more of the ball as Partey tries to get a ball forward to Odegaard. Not seen too much of him so far in the first 21 minutes. Tomiyasu now to Saka on the right-hand side. It's pressure there from 4 now, so the ball back on the halfway line here with Gabriel Magalhaes finds Thomas Partey. Ball over the top now looking for Saka. That's comfortably dealt with by Masuaku. And now Lanzini back towards Issa Diop. He can't take too long on the ball though. There's 4 Arsenal players pressing at the edge of the area. And Lanzini under pressure here from Tomiyasu, having to play it back towards Diop. Diop clears that, but only into midfield. Xhaka chests it down for Partey. And Arsenal really just trying to get that stranglehold of the game again. But just as I say that, Ben White nods it into space and he goes straight to Michail Antonio. But that's a really poor ball. That's a good opportunity wasted there by West Ham. They still get the ball back though in midfield here with Souček. And now it's Lanzini over to Masuaku. Arteta furiously trying to get some instructions out to his players, pointing, gesturing where players need to be as West Ham go down the right-hand side now with Tufal. Playing it back towards Declan Rice. In towards Souček now, being closed down by Lacazette. And Diop looks up, didn't see any options to play it long. Plays it square to Masuaku, who runs straight into Saka. And I think in the end the ball just goes out for a throw to Arsenal. But Arteta, you can see, he almost wants to be out on the pitch there with them, doesn't he? Yeah, absolutely. I think just a moment ago as well, Souček, what a ball that was to Tufal on the far side. But again, I think Arteta wanted a bit more urgency from the Arsenal players. You know, they started the game well, but they've slowed down a bit now. And I feel like West Ham are starting to get a bit of a foothold in the game. But I think they need more from Antonio to say that Arsenal do win the ball back here in a dangerous position. They do. Odegaard now in midfield, back in towards Thomas Partey. West Ham are back in numbers though, so there's no easy route to goal. But Saka, with a bit of space now down the right, being stood up here by Lanzini, goes back in towards Thomas Partey. Odegaard now into Tomiyasu. It's Lacazette and Martinelli waiting at the edge of the area, but for the time being Arsenal forced to just go back briefly. Now here comes Partey. There's a bit of space. It opens up in front of him. He's just about to pull the trigger when he's stopped by looks like Pablo Fornals, who I think's got injured in the process. But a long ball goes down the left-hand side here for West Ham, and Antonio trying to get away from Ben White. He does get away from Ben White. Can't quite get away from Tomiyasu. Then Ben White finally wins the ball back. Arsenal are back in possession. We've gone over the halfway point in this first half. 23.5 minutes gone. It is Arsenal 0, West Ham 0. It will be Sam to take us through to half-time. Yeah, Arsenal got the ball back on now on the counter with Xhaka. Xhaka onto Martinelli. Again, West Ham with plenty of bodies back, so it is difficult for Arsenal to find a way through. Martinelli plays it out wide. Good ball to Saka on the right-hand side. Saka crosses in towards Lacazette at the back post, who heads it down, but Souček is there to clear just inside his 6-yard box.
Here's Tierney. I think that one a moment ago from Partey was a classic case of go to shoot for the player, gets his body in the way, and he kicked right through the back of Fornells, or Lanzini, I believe it was. It was one of them unfortunate ones. No free kick given, though, by the referee, which was interesting.
Yeah, I thought there was enough to say that there was enough contact for that, but here come Arsenal now with the ball given away in the box.
Yep, Saka with a chance. He goes to shoot. I think he fell originally before he went down. I don't think that will be a penalty. But 2 men are down in the area here, though. Odegaard eventually puts it out for a goal kick. Again, I think Saka was already down, wasn't he? By the time
certainly a couple of the Arsenal players, certainly the ferocity of how Odegaard cleared the ball and then went straight towards the linesman suggests that he thinks there should have been a decision here in Arsenal's favour. Let's have a look from this replay. As Saka goes to shoot for goal, he's actually losing his balance and then kicks right through the ankle of Masuaku, who's just arriving from behind him. So I don't think there's any intent from anybody there.
I don't think you can give that as a penalty. No, Masuaku gets his body in the way. He's just kicked through the back of him. Masuaku's obviously hurt from this as well. But you mentioned about Arteta wanting to be out there on the pitch a moment ago when Antonio counted. He was right next to him. He nearly was out there on the pitch.
Yeah, he's certainly pushing that to technical area to its very limits here. And Pablo Fornals still hobbling there after he was kicked flush in the back of the calf there by Thomas Partey.
That's a sore one.
That is a sore one, and Partey's done nothing wrong. Partey wants to shoot for the ball, and Fornals doing what he wants to, doing what he can to try and stop that happening. Gets his body in the way, and he takes one full in the laces right through the calf there, wasn't it?
I said a minute ago, that's usually a free kick, to be fair, for the player who gets kicked, but it wasn't on this occasion, which I found interesting. Obviously, West Ham did counter just after that, but it was good defending in the end from Ben White to stop Antonio in his traps. But like I say, I think Antonio's a player who West Ham need more from. He hasn't really done enough so far to hold the ball up and bring others into play.
It was such a promising start to the season. He's just gone a little bit quiet now in the last 6 or 7 games, pretty much since that international break where he arrived on the scene with Jamaica scoring 2. Well, the second goal he scored in that game against the USA, because he scored in 2 consecutive games. The goal he scored against the USA was a fabulous solo effort. And ever since he's come back from that international break, he's just been a little bit off, really. Hasn't had the sort of certainly he hasn't been scoring the goals, and he's just not had the same impact on the team. Fornals and Thomas Partey now sharing a quick high five. Looks like Fornals is okay to play on as well.
Yeah, they've certainly put the differences aside there. Fabianski takes a goal kick as we're back underway, and Partey it is who heads it up. Well, Declan Rice is there, and he takes it down on his chest and finds Masuaku, the left back. Fornals goes back to him. He's nearly played himself into trouble, eventually does get it away, and West Ham just don't seem to be able to settle down in possession. Arsenal always closing them down, and Arteta, as you say, on the touchline is really willing his players on, I guess you can say.
He is, but it's almost, reading his body language, almost like he's unhappy with what he's seeing, whereas I would say that although Arsenal perhaps haven't been able to complete an attacking move like they'd like, you certainly can't fault them for their effort. They're certainly trying to get forward.
Yeah, West Ham defending quite well, it's got to be said. Saka to Partey, back to Tomiyasu. An impressive season so far, the Arsenal right back. Xhaka to Gabriel. Back to Granit Xhaka. He plays a pass, not a bad one either, into Saka. And Saka's control just about keeps it in play. It goes beyond Masuaku, who still has the ball as well. Good check back. Tomiyasu comes back, he goes for a left-footed cross in towards Lacazette, who heads it down to Martinelli. But then in the end, Dawson does well. It's always going to be difficult for Martinelli to find enough space to execute that. But tries to take it up in the air. I think maybe go for an acrobatic effort. But Dawson with some good defending to get his head in there first.
Absolutely. When you can see an opponent trying something acrobatic, it's just important to get your body in the way. But Lacazette's ball into the box now for Martinelli.
Good defending. Lacazette gets it back. Lacazette, and he goes to shoot. Is that a penalty? No, I think it was another collision just like earlier. Dawson got his body in the way. VAR might have a look at this one. Both men again feeling the effects. A bit similar, I guess.
Yeah, it's happened 2 or 3 times this evening where when one player goes down injured from one team, they've straight away an opposition players down as well. Lacazette trying to get into the penalty area. The ball is played one touch. Odegaard, Martinelli gets brought down, and as Lacazette, I tell you what, there's a strong collision here between Lacazette and Dawson. But is there a foul? Lacazette strikes it.
He gets a touch first on the ball,
does,
which makes me think there's not going to be a foul.
No, I don't think so, because I don't think that Dawson's actually caught. Dawson's sort of fallen into Lacazette's leg. I don't think he's actually kicked him or challenged him in any way. So I think it's to say it was a painful one there, but I don't think there is a penalty to be given in that instance.
I've seen a few ones like that so far where 2 players have collided and both men have came off quite badly. It's going to be a West Ham free kick, it looks like. I think it might be an offside given maybe in there, or it looks further ahead than what the challenge was. So.
Yeah, and in fact, it looks like it might have just been a drop ball. Fabianski just kicking that one out of his hands and back into play.
Yes, and the play is resumed again as Arsenal had a good opportunity there, probably the closest they've come really in terms of how close they've got to goal, and got to give Dawson credit, defended really well originally to make that challenge on Martinelli, and then he got his body in the way of Lacazette as well, so good defending from the experienced centre-half.
Yeah, I said, and you used the right word there. He is an experienced centre-half, one of these defenders that you know what you're going to get from him, and he can actually get a goal as well. He does like to get forward for set pieces, Craig Dawson, and he's fitted well into this West Ham team, I think.
Absolutely, a good signing from David Moyes he's turned out to be. From Watford, of course, relegated with Watford in the 2019-20 season, but certainly improved at West Ham. Ben Wright in possession now for the Gunners, finds his centre-back partner Gabriel. Arsenal, West Ham say keeping a good shape at the moment. It's got to be said, West Ham. Arsenal found it very difficult to break them down, and you just imagine West Ham are waiting for a moment to counter, but unfortunately that hasn't really happened for them.
It hasn't. They've had a couple of half chances. We saw that one effort where Antonio wasted his pass down the right hand side, but now a chance for Arsenal to open up for Saka.
Yeah, Saka going against Masuaku. It's a good run from him. Finds Ødegaard. Crowded out a little bit, Ødegaard. Oh, and actually a bit of a mix-up, but it does run through to Fabianski. I don't think Masuaku or Job knew which player wanted that, and luckily Saka wasn't quite alert, and the ball runs through to the Polish goalkeeper.
Yeah, it wasn't intended for Saka. It was just to say the way it deflected into his path. So the referee, as the ball was getting through towards Fabianski, Saka just couldn't quite react in time. But those are the fine details. West Ham, I wouldn't say they're living dangerously. They are well organised, as you said. The problem for them is that they're struggling to keep possession when they play out from the back. They've just got the ball back here after Ødegaard couldn't keep it for Arsenal. So potentially a chance now for West Ham to go forward.
So dummy from Lanzini, but it's waste just come through to Ben White, and Gabriel now's possession for Arsenal. He goes to find Saka. Lanzini intercepted, but then Tomiyasu finds Saka. Saka again with a chance to run at Masuaku. It's crowded out a little bit. Does find Ødegaard. Tomiyasu into Saka to poor ball though from Tomiyasu, and it runs out for a goal kick. And again, a play just breaking down when it gets to that position. And Mikel Arteta again, we see him on the touchline. Still probably not. He's probably can't be too displeased with what he's been seeing, but he maybe wants more in that final third from Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, if there's going to be a school report, they're going to get top marks for effort, but maybe not top marks for achievement at this stage, because they are just struggling to get that final pass into the box. There was definitely no danger of Saka being offside there. The West Ham offside line was in two phases there, so it just needed to be a better pass from Tomiyasu.
Yeah, poor ball from Tomiyasu. Having a very good season, the Arsenal right back, as mentioned, of course. Quite a surprising signing, but certainly done well so far in an Arsenal shirt. But West Ham now have a throw in. Their right back Soufal's going to take. You know, Saka though seems to be targeting Masuaku. I don't know if you've noticed that too much. Masuaku obviously goes as a good left back, much improved from his early days at West Ham, but Saka certainly seems to be fancying his chances in that one.
Well, Masuaku's not no slouch, but then I wouldn't back him in a sprint against Saka, so I think he's hoping that if he's in possession running at Masuaku with the ball or trying to close down Masuaku when he's in possession, Saka does fancy his chances to keep the ball or get it off him.
Absolutely. Also, Jop as well is the left-sided centre-back, so he certainly fancy himself against Jop as well in a race, Saka. Ball's headed through to Aaron Ramsdale, and relatively untroubled so far, the former Sheffield United and Bournemouth goalkeeper. Has conceded 12 goals in his career against West Ham, so certainly not the best record against the Hammers.
He doesn't, but then he was, as you mentioned, playing for teams that were certainly struggling in the Premier League. His baptism into the league was that relegation season with Bournemouth, and then the behind closed doors season with Sheffield United, where things really went from bad to worse for the Blades in that season. So in many ways, because of that, he's at a club now where he should be able to concentrate more on making those one-off saves rather than having to be peppered with shots like he might have been at the previous clubs.
Absolutely. Tomiyasu finds Gabriel, finds Ben White. That's Gabriel. When West Ham with a good shape about them, but Arsenal trying to find a way through, and Thomas Partey gives it away, and now Antonio might have a chance to go at the Arsenal defence. Carries on running, good challenge by Partey, but the ball falls to Bowen, who's crowded by Xhaka and Tierney. Bowen though finds Souček. Souček, is he fouled by Lacazette there? He is, by the looks of it. It's going to be a free kick to West Ham. Needless one to give away for Lacazette. He's not really going anywhere, Souček.
Well, no, I mean, Lacazette's furious that this decision's been given. Let's just see if the Arsenal captain... Oh, I tell you what, there doesn't seem to be any contact there at all. I mean, Lacazette's foot is close to Souček at one point, but I can't see how that contact or that brushing pass would bring the big man down. I think Souček has bought one there, and he's done it actually very well for his side.
Absolutely, it's a dangerous free kick in a dangerous position. You imagine this will favour the left foot of Jarrod Bowen as well. A chance to put a cross into a dangerous area. Jarrod Bowen, we know, can certainly deliver them from this area as well. So Interesting to see how Arsenal can defend this with West Ham's height advantage. It's going to be Jared Bowen over it, the former Hull City winger.
Yes, a few players inside the 6-yard box, a couple waiting at the edge as well, but looks like it's going to be whipped straight in.
Bowen is headed away by Ben White, only to Fornells in space on the edge of the area. Fornells can hit it. It's a good effort. It's just wide of the post. I thought for a moment that was just curling in. A really good effort from Fornells, but just goes wide.
Yeah, whether it's Fornells or Lanzini, one of those two players, if they get that ball at the edge of the area, right-footed curling effort is exactly what they're looking to do there. It drops to Pablo Fornells. He couldn't have really got that away any quicker. You've got to credit Kieran Tierney because he closes down the West Ham number 8 as quickly as possible. Ramsdale is beaten, but it's just away from that far post.
Absolutely, I thought that was curling in, but it just goes wide. And like I say, Fornells and Lanzini will be able to pick them balls out that are cleared. It's a poor kick from Ramsdale, which luckily finds Lacazette. I don't think you've entirely meant that. Luckily, Lacazette's striker was in the middle of the park to get the ball.
No, absolutely. It got through to Lacazette. Arsenal have had 3 efforts. One of them has been on target. West Ham have had 2 efforts, both off target, so they've not spoilt us so far in terms of efforts on goal, but it has still been quite an engaging game, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously 2 teams in good positions in the league, really. I mean, the start Arsenal had, of course, they were bottom after the first 3 games. They now found themselves 6th on the table, and West Ham obviously surprised a lot of people last season. Many people asked, can they keep it up? And so far this season, they certainly have, and in the Europa League as well. So full credit to David Moyes' side. So it's always going to be an interesting game, but I say West Ham have a very poor record against Arsenal, which they'll be hoping to put right today.
They certainly will. They've got a chance in there down the right-hand side.
Yeah, Lanzini finds Bowen. Bowen up against Tierney. Bowen chance to maybe get something on that left foot. He does go for goals. A weak effort, though, and it's blocked by Granit Xhaka. West Ham still have the ball with Declan Rice. Rice finds Masuaku. Back into the West Ham skipper. Declan Rice scored his first ever Premier League goal against Arsenal back in January 2019 in a 1-0 win for West Ham at the London Stadium. Soufal up against Tierney. I think he might well have won a corner. No, Tierney will keep the ball in play and head it out. Martinelli chasing Bowen. Bowen will get there first. Back with Dawson. Declan Rice. Good spell of possession this for the Hammers. Rice finds Fornells.
Yeah, well, this is certainly the longest spell of possession that West Ham have had for some time. Whether it's a question of whether they can now actually get that little bit closer to the penalty area. Most of their half chances of goal have come from the few set pieces they've had. They've struggled to get anything from open play so far.
So the Arsenal have won 8 of their 10 home games this season, the Gunners. So good record at the Emirates. Dawson down the line, and it's a poor ball though from Dawson, and it goes out for an Arsenal throw, and all that West Ham possession comes to nothing ultimately.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? That if they're going to exchange 15, 20 passes in midfield and not actually get forward, there's always a chance that one ball's going to be a little bit amiss, a little bit awry, and it goes out of play, and that's precisely what's happened. And now Arsenal have the ball back, and West Ham potentially might have to work very hard to get it back again now.
Absolutely. Tierney finds Gabriel. Gabriel plays a crossfield pass towards Tomiyasu, who will take it down and get it out of his feet. He gives it away, though, poorly to Masuaku, and now Declan Rice for West Ham can take it forward away from Ødegaard. Rice carries on surrounding Bowen's in space on the right-hand side. He goes to Soufal instead. Soufal with the chance to cross, which he does. It's not a bad one, but Tomiyasu heads away into Lanzini. Lanzini maybe a chance to shoot. He finds Masuaku on the overlap, and in the end it's poor from Masuaku. We saw him score from a cross shot against Chelsea recently. I don't think that's what that can be described as, but never really going goalwards.
No, it's a shame he didn't think about crossing it there, because there were 3 players waiting at the edge of the 6-yard box. This one for Lanzini, very similar position to the one that Fornells had a moment ago. It's just unfortunate for the Argentine. The ball just wouldn't sit down from it, just bouncing up a little bit. Couldn't quite get the curling effort he wanted. And then Masuaku, I think, rushed his decision there. He could have looked up and just clipped the ball to the edge of the 6-yard box as well.
Yeah, we've been caught in 2 minds a little bit. That can be described as Masuaku, and went harmlessly over the crossbar in the end, and Ramsdale will take a goal kick for the Gunners. And he takes it in. Declan Rice will win the header, but Partey plays it forward towards Saka, headed away by Masuaku, and Souček can get it further forward. Antonio and White competing again. Antonio with a poor touch, and it goes out of play. Just not sticking for Antonio so far this evening.
It's not been a good evening for Antonio. He's not had a glut of chances to control it, but 2 or 3 occasions now where easy balls have gone awry for him. Looking at that West Ham bench, though, there are still a few players out injured for David Moyes. It's not really got, other than Ashby up front, I suppose, is one option they could consider. They could consider perhaps Benrahma or Yarmolenko and jiggle the players around they've already got on the field, but for the time being, Antonio is their best option up front.
Absolutely. Antonio, of course, a very good player for West Ham, a big part of what they do, but not quite click from, not been the best form either, Antonio. it's got to be said here. Xhaka in possession for Arsenal, finds Tierney. Martinelli on the overlap, but he does go back to the Swiss international Xhaka, who finds Gabriel just inside the West Ham half. He steps away from Antonio, then finds Ben White. Tomiyasu. Saka trying to find options, goes to play it to Odegaard, but Masuaku blocks it out, and that's kind of the pattern of the game, really. Both teams, when they have possession, don't really seem to find a route towards goal at the moment.
No, you've got to say that so far both teams are better at stopping their opposition getting forward than they are getting forward themselves. It just seems to be they're cancelling each other out a little bit at the edge of each penalty area. Arsenal perhaps just looking a little bit more fluid when they have the ball, but they haven't been able to manage it. Just as I say that, potentially West Ham give the ball away.
Yeah, Lacazette has it now. He takes it away from Lanzini on the right-hand side, Lacazette. He finds Saka into the area. Odegaard goes back to Saka, chance for him maybe. Finds Granit Xhaka. It's a good block from Craig Dawson there, really good defending. Tierney it falls to. Tierney on the volley, and it's hit the crossbar. Fabianski got something on it originally, and then Job heads it up in the air. And then eventually West Ham can just about clear. What a strike from Tierney that was. A good defending originally from Dawson. The attack's not actually over yet. Lacazette can try and take it away in the end. Souček will get there, and that's a corner to Arsenal.
Yeah, just a bit of miscontrol from Souček in the end. Couldn't keep it in play, but great last-ditch defending there from Craig Dawson. We mentioned what a good signing he was, the experience he brings to this West Ham defence, and we certainly saw that lovely bit of link-up play there between Odegaard and Saka to get the ball into Xhaka. Xhaka's strike stopped by Dawson, and then Tierney, fabulous strike off the laces, and Fabianski with a brilliant save, tipping it onto the bar.
That's definitely dipping in as well, so a really good and important save. It'll be Saka to take an in-swinging corner for the Gunners, though. He does. It's not a bad one. It's headed away in the end by West Ham. Odegaard tries to get it back in there. Martinelli can pick up the loose ball, and then Ben White, good turn from him. Finds Saka. Up against Lanzini, does really well to step away from him. Saka into a good position. Approaching the penalty area, good defending in the end by Masuaku, and West Ham can surely clear their lines here. Fornells finds Souček, and they will eventually get the ball away. And Fabianski and Craig Dawson, maybe the heroes in the West Ham defence on that occasion. Two vital blocks from both of them.
Absolutely, keeping West Ham at 0-0, and that's great work from Bowen as well on the halfway line, just to try and keep the ball alive for West Ham. In the end, it is cleared away, and Arsenal trying to get forward. But you've got to say that West Ham's work rate, the effort levels they've shown in this first half, really have been excellent. They perhaps haven't got much to show for it in terms of going forward, but really and truthfully, that last bit of defending there is the closest Arsenal have come, and it's taken them 40 minutes.
Absolutely, that's the first real clear-cut chance of the game. Originally, Xhaka's shot did lack power, admittedly, Xhaka's effort, but Dawson was certainly positioned well to make the block. We mentioned about his experience, and then, of course, afterwards, Tierney, a brilliant strike from him from the edge of the area, but Fabianski on hand to make a really good save. Arsenal have the possession again. Lacazette finds Tomiyasu out to Bukayo Saka. Saka with a left-footed cross is blocked by Masuaku. It falls to Partey on the volley, but Souček gets a block in there, and again the ball goes to Arsenal. And again, Arsenal looking for that goal before half-time at the moment, and they're putting some good pressure on now. Yeah,
Arsenal would love a goal before half-time because they know that it would just deflate West Ham psychologically a little bit as well when you think that the Hammers have done so well to keep it at 0-0 in this first half. So Arsenal, ideally with these 3 minutes to go, plus potentially a minute or two of injury time, they'll look to try and have the lion's share of possession and maybe get one more effort onto Fabianski's zone, and then down the right-hand side now with Saka.
Yeah, Saka finds Thomas Partey. Partey to Xhaka. Tierney. Xhaka again. Again, looking for some options of Swiss, and he does find Tomiyasu, who's came in field for the time being. Out to Odegaard. 3 goals in his last 3 games for the Norwegian. Martinelli. Partey to Xhaka. Again, looking for options. Tierney. West Ham with a good shape, but Arsenal having still putting a bit of pressure on at the moment. It's good play. Lacazette goes through. Is that going to be a free kick? It won't be. I think it was just about crowded out in the end, and then Martinelli does really well to win it back from Rice.
He does, yeah. I mean, the referee almost stopped for a second. They gave himself a quick mental replay of that Lacazette incident, but felt there was no foul. Arsenal then moved the ball over towards Saka on the right-hand side now, trying to get away from Masuaku.
Yes, full back with Tomiyasu. Partey back to Tomiyasu. And he steps away well. Good play. Plays across it, it's a low one, it's into Martinelli, it's blocked again by Dawson. Odegaard then chests it down, but Souček in a good position. Then Odegaard helps it on to Antonio accidentally, and Antonio trying to break now for the Hammers. He plays the ball towards what's a really poor ball, and that sums up Antonio's first 45 minutes.
It sums up his last month, I think, considering that he's pinged the ball off the toe end almost to try and pick out either Bowen or Fornals. And not to exaggerate, that ball's missed them by about 15 or 20 yards. They were waiting in the middle of the field at the edge of the box, and the ball ended up on the right-hand side. But here come Arsenal again.
Yeah, Saka with possession, and it's to Lacazette. Lacazette takes it and hits it. It's a good save into Martinelli, and Martinelli just taps it wide. I think Fabianski's done really well there, it's got to be said. He maybe could have, I don't know if he could have caught the first one, but Martinelli, I'm not sure there was a touch afterwards as well to take it wide, but Lacazette's even stayed down as well, so a few bodies are lying down at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, as Saka just finds Lacazette. I wonder if that ball from Saka was actually meant for Xhaka, who was arriving inside the penalty area. But Lacazette does have number 9 on his shirt. He picks the ball up at the edge of the box, makes a decent effort curling towards goal, and then Martinelli with the follow through just catches Fabianski. But because of that, the last touch does come off the Brazilian, so it will be a goal kick to West Ham as we just get a reverse super slow-mo replay of that earlier save. That really is excellent from Fabianski, and those fingertips were needed.
Fantastic, yeah. I mean, just again, Craig Dawson there, I think, in my opinion, man of the match in the first half again. As Martinelli goes for that follow-up, Dawson's there, does enough to put him off. I think he's been fantastic so far, the centre-back. But, yeah, Fabianski, West Ham home, a big thank you for that wonderful save from Tierney. I think even with that one off Lacazette, it was a dangerous one, but he managed to keep it out. I mean, he maybe could have caught it, but he still had to make the original save.
He did. He had just had to make sure that he got fingertips to that one, and the previous, the one you just mentioned from a moment ago, again, just diving, getting his body in the way. But a minute of injury time at the end of this first half. Arsenal, as we mentioned, they really did want to try and break the deadlock before half-time, but it looks like it's not going to be.
Absolutely not. I mean, Tierney come the closest for them when he did it at the crossbar, but Arsenal, though, been a bit frustrating off for them so far, especially for West Ham as well. They've barely, got at Ramsdale at all, really. I don't remember Ramsdale really making a save. Closest they came was the curling effort by Pablo Fornals. He's got a chance maybe in the box here, but Ben White will head it away. And Saka trying to complete the clearance. They win it back, though. Here's Antonio again, who loses possession. Masuaku, though, chance for him to cross with his left foot, and it's not a great one. It'll be cleared away by Gabriel.
Again, there's lead feet there from Antonio. He could have done better with that ball at the edge of the box. Just that heavy touch meant that it was just that bit easier for the Arsenal players to just guide him away from the penalty area. There is a throw on to West Ham, but we're pretty much out of time.
Yeah, near enough. The half about to end now. Declan Rice possession of the D, and then the half-time whistle blows at the Emirates Stadium. Half-time score, Arsenal 0, West Ham 0. The closest we've come to a goal was Kieran Tierney's from the edge of the penalty area. Lukasz Fabianski making a great save, but ultimately half-time score, Arsenal 0, West Ham United 0.